Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Random Vlogging! So, first things first, I know this is late, but yesterday was Thanksgiving, and so I spent all day helping the family cook things and recovering from my turkey coma. So, that being said, everybody else is doing, I'm thankful for this, and it's not that I'm not thankful, I am. But I think... So, the holidays have been kind of an interesting experience for me for most of my life. A lot of bad things have happened over the holidays, and so anytime Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's comes around, I have an entirely different mindset than most people I know. Everyone else is thinking about, Christmas, it's wonderful, and oh, look at all the snow if you're in a place that snows, or if you're in a place that's not unbearably cold and has magic, frozen water falling from the sky. Uh, you're looking around, oh, look, it's getting slightly chillier. Um, and that's just not how my life has been. Everything from I got kicked out of my house just before Christmas years ago. I had my dog die, and we put him to sleep on Thanksgiving, and just a lot of other things. So one of the things that I tend to do uh, on Thanksgiving, and this is just something I do in my own head. I've never actually verbalized it until now, but I basically look at the past year and kind of marvel at the fact that I survived it and that I've come to another, more likely than not, very difficult section of my life until I get through it. Um, so that's kind of what I'm going to do today. It's going to be a little short because I have to be at work in, like, I don't know, 30 minutes. So yeah, sorry guys. So this time last year, I had quit my job and was unemployed. At this point, I'd been unemployed for, I think, about 3 weeks. I didn't have, I had just barely enough money, if I remember correctly, I had just barely enough money to make my rent, no money for food, um, no money to pay my utilities, nothing like that. I had no idea where I was going to get more money from. And Yeah, I was living on my own in an apartment that was far too expensive for me, to be perfectly honest. And the only reason I was still in that apartment was when I first applied for it, I was making significantly more money than I was by the end. So yeah, it was a rough time. Thanksgiving was actually kind of nice for me, just because I was kind of counting on it for food, because I knew anytime I visited my parents, which was about a 45-minute to an hour drive to visit my parents. So with gas and everything like that, it wasn't something that I could afford to do a lot. And then combine that with depression and anxiety and all that stuff, I didn't make it out as much as I would have liked. So visiting my parents always meant they were wonderful, amazing people, or still are, and they would send me home with leftovers. And with Thanksgiving, that meant I was going to be sent home with a lot of leftovers. So at least for the next few days, I didn't have to worry about food. Fast forward through December. December, I applied for food stamps for the first time. Was lucky enough that I got them and proceeded to survive off that. Still had no income. Um, I still didn't have a unemployment insurance. I'd been denied. And so I had literally no income. I was applying for every job I could. No one was even giving me interviews. I was feeling horrible about myself. Um, January comes around. Um, at this point, I'm starting to ask. I think in December I'd started asking you guys for money. I was asking friends and family if they could spot me enough money to make it through. I was lucky enough that people were able to mess with their bank accounts enough so that I could pay for my rent that month, which I almost didn't. That month I was actually, I think, a day away from getting evicted and having nowhere to go because I had no way to get 90% of the stuff in my apartment all the way out to my parents' place. I had no money. I had nothing. So had they evicted me, I would have been in a very, very bad place. And then I got flown out to Seattle in January, which is amazing. Seattle's a beautiful city to interview with Amazon. Yeah, I almost got to work for Amazon. They unfortunately decided not to hire me, which I was really upset about because I would have loved to work for them. But there was a lot of other people that applied, surprisingly enough, and so it really wasn't that big a deal, other than the fact that I was still unemployed. And that was all of January. So again, living basically off of food stamps, letting bills go past due, and having nothing, praying that my landlord wasn't going to kick me out. February was basically the same thing. Halfway through February, I finally had my unemployment hearing and was able to win my appeal and got all the back unemployment that was due to me. So for a couple months, I was actually doing decently. Right in end of January, beginning of February, I started looking into going back to college. And excuse me. And then yeah, March, I think, was when I finally decided on the college that I'm going to now, which is an online college. And I got to go through the FAFSA process. Somebody had applied for FAFSA in my name, and so I got to fight that, and that was a whole ordeal. So yeah, I finally got into college starting in May, and then in June, the lease on the apartment I was in was up, and so I was finally able to move back home. Again, still very, very broke, but now without $800 a month going towards rent and no longer having to pay utilities and things like that, it made things a lot easier on me. And yeah, July was kind of uneventful. I was in a really bad depression because I'd felt like I'd failed, and I'd spent 6 years at that point living on my own, and then I couldn't. And then August, I got my new job. Very end of July, early August is when I got my new job, and I've been doing that since. I think that was also when I had my first and only right now, quote unquote, viral video where I got, I don't know, a few hundred views in like 15 minutes. I hit the 301 plus cap, which is really amazing. And then, yeah, the rest of the years is basically just been schoolwork and actual work, and that's been my year. And yeah, looking back on it, it's, in my mind, it's really impressive that I made it through the past year. I had some really, really dark times. You guys have made it significantly better. You guys have carried me through some incredibly tough times. And it's been a crazy ride. It really has. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, even though it was yesterday. Happy Kill People for Cheaply Priced Junk Day, which everybody else calls Black Friday. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next week for some streamy streams with TJ. Thanks. Bye-bye.